Welcome everybody to another episode of Chocolate Travels. I'm Joseph with Bean to Bar World, and I'm here with Erica and Nelson of Tavua Chocolate. So hello, nice to meet you.
Hello. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So let's learn who you are, where are you, and we'll go from there.
Okay. My name is Erica. I'm a teacher.
I am Nelson, biologist.
Okay, very nice.
He's a
Biologist.
and we are half-time chocolate makers. So we also have
Part-time,
another
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
We are from São Paulo State, Brazil, and it's not from. We are about 450 quilômetros, about 400 kilometers from
400.
São Paulo City. So
Okay.
we are west of São Paulo City. So we're in the country area of São Paulo State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Excellent. And so let's talk about the name of your company first. Where does Tavua come from? Why did you choose this name?
Yeah, we're Tavua,
I have a feeling maybe because
Yeah.
Nelson is a biologist, maybe that's why.
Oh, yeah, you got it. So he came up with the name. When we were talking about, I started a chocolate company, and we were trying to come up with the name of it. So we were talking during a night about it. And the morning he came up with the name, and he just gave it as a suggestion. So I don't know if you're going to enjoy it or not, but there is a parrot called Tavua, and it lives in the Amazon region. And they mainly eat fruits, and the cacao is one of their favorite traits. So when he told me about it, and I know all his passion for birds, I said, "Oh, of course, it has everything to do with the chocolate, with what we want."
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a
So it was
connection.
was the first and the only name that we came up with, and we picked it at first.
I can hear you guys have some birds there in the background.
Yeah, but it's not from the house, it's just from the nature.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Must be
Yeah.
beautiful to live in Brazil.
Yeah, it's about time that some of the birds go back to
Inclusive,
season.
citracídeos, né? Do mesmo grupo do Tavua.
It's the same kinds of the birds of the parrots, but it's
Right.
not the Tavua.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. So, no, that's funny because it has that connection, but obviously sometimes farmers maybe don't like when the Tavua eat their cocoa pods, right? But it's all part of the process.
Yeah, it is nature.
Nature. Now let's start. What is your story? You guys said that you're part-time chocolate makers, so you come from education, biology. What brought you to making chocolate and starting a business?
A gente começou chocolate. Well, I love chocolate, so I have eaten chocolate ever since I was little, and I have been eating, and I think I will be eating to the last day of my life. And I tried to eat as healthy as possible. And I remember chocolate was one of the things that I used to say that, oh, this is one of the things I can't live without. So I do have to go to the supermarket and buy it. So everything else I can make at home. I can start gardening, but chocolate is something we can't make, right? So I have to buy it. That's what I thought. So about 3 to 4 years ago, I went to Bahia, to the state of Bahia, on a vacation with my daughter. And there I had bean to bar chocolate for the first time. I never heard about it. So we stayed in a hotel where they had a store. They sold it there.
Okay.
And so when I saw the label of very few ingredients, and I didn't know it was possible. Like, how is that possible? A homemade chocolate? And from Bahia, usually the ones they have there, they sell there, they are not only bean to bar, but usually tray to bar. So the farmers are the ones that make and sell it. So for me, it was very special to have it. So after that, I started to desire to eat that kind of chocolate more often, and we didn't have here in the States.
Why did you like that specific chocolate? What was different about it?
I liked the flavor. I liked to know the percentage of the cacao that was in there, because in the industry we don't know. We just know it's a milk chocolate or intensive chocolate, but we don't know how much cocoa is in there. So, and the few ingredients as well. So knowing what they are. So there wasn't a lot of the chemical stuff that I don't even know what they are. Just it's there.
Right. So healthier, better ingredients, better flavor, and you were just blown away. And
Yeah, that's
it sounds like you already like to make your own food and things like that. So now you realized you could do that with chocolate as well.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Okay. Where did you learn how to make bean to bar chocolate? How did you?
Como que a gente aprendeu a fazer chocolate?
Teacher, eu gostava muito, mas não conhecia o Bean to Bar. A Érica que me apresentou esse mundo e aí que a gente começou a se aprofundar. E ela explica melhor.
He said he didn't know anything about Bean to Bar. And when I told him, we were talking about starting a business together. So what kind of business could we start together? So we came up with a travel agency, some like things that we could both do together. And then I told him once, well, ever since I was a child, I always want to have a chocolate factory, but it's impossible, right? But then I told him, but a few years ago when I went to Bahia with Luana, with my daughter, we had some chocolates, and I had already bought a book that explained a little bit how to make a homemade chocolate, but out of the cocoa pound, not the bean to bar.
Okay.
So it was just mixing the cocoa powder with sugar and butter, the cocoa butter, not from the bean, like the nibs, not roasting and everything. So I bought the book and I read it a little bit and I told him about it. Also, when I told him about the bean to bar, so he started to buy some from the internet, because we don't have here like in a regular supermarket. So you have to buy online, even here in Brazil. So he started to taste, to try, and he enjoyed it. So he liked the taste as well. And so we pretty much went from there.
Okay, so a lot of learning as you go, tinkering, figuring it out.
Yeah, and then we bought an online course that it taught a little bit further about the bean to bar, so all the roasting process and the machine, the stone grinder.
Right.
And this course helped a lot, of course, but a lot of the things we kind of have to do to know for sure. So
like
it guided us for a while, and it helped us with the list of some of the suppliers. So this online course was really good as a beginning for the process.
Yeah. So what sort of things didn't they teach you that you had to learn on your own, that you had to figure out? Like the roasting?
I think it was more the percentage, the taste, and knowing more about the beans and the roasting, because it's when they teach, they usually say the time you need to be in the oven, so you need to check the temperature. But when you're actually doing it, it's different. So I can't follow the instruction. So we have like bean to bar, I think a maker, you have to know why. So the first ones that we did, I followed exactly how it was taught. And then afterwards, so how about if we leave a little longer to see if it tastes better? And then how about if you leave a little less on the oven? So we started to play with it. And so we came up with some different results.
That's a good point, because it's true though, like no matter what course you take, you're going to have to learn how to use the beans you have, and it could be a bit different for everybody, and also depends on what you're trying to achieve. The flavors you want is going to be different. You were mentioning that Nelson was looking online for cacao in Brazil. So how did you source the cocoa beans, and why did you choose the ones that you have today? What made them special?
This one course that we bought, they had a list of some of the farmers we could contact. So this is one of the things that is good about the community here. So they don't try to hide for themselves the information. So they pass to everyone, so everyone can kind of get to know people, and we. Para quantas pessoas a gente tentou? Duas, três?
É, uns três.
Yeah,
A
we
terceira que
called
deu
about.
certo.
We called 2 people before we came up with the ones we buy from. So the first to the second one, they didn't have for that moment. We wanted, so you have to wait for a month or two because we don't have it right now. But you can call this one person. So I called this person. Oh, I don't have it. You can call this other one. So the third person we called had the beans to send it to us. So like for the following day.
Okay.
And it was we were looking for organic beans. And this one that we end up with is not only organic, but it's also biodynamic. So they have all the care for the soil, the water from the rain. So it's even more special than just being organic. So
That's
it
a
was
good
like
point
a really
because
good fun.
organic nowadays can be a bit watered down. We don't know exactly what they mean, but it sounds like from what you're saying, the biodynamic is it's not just organic, but they're paying attention to the whole environment that it grows in. Right?
Yes, and the good thing about buying directly from the farmers, we see the passion they have when they're growing their own cacao tree. So we know for sure they take good care of what they're doing. So we know the product we're receiving is something of really high quality.
Right. Yeah. And that's what's so wonderful about people like you who live in cacao growing regions is you can have that very direct relationship quite more easily.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. So what would you say are some of the challenges you faced early on when you were tinkering and learning as you were going? What were some things that you wish you knew beforehand that would make it easier that you didn't have to figure out?
Alguma coisa fácil de algum desafio que a gente teve no processo, eu acho que seria mais a parte do.
Foi uma grande novidade. A gente não sabia se ia dar certo, né? Imaginamos que seriam 6 meses para a gente conseguir o primeiro chocolate. Então, acho que foi uma grande surpresa a gente já na primeira batelada da máquina ter um resultado satisfatório, né? Acho que...
Yeah, he was saying that when we first started, the very first one that we made, before we started, actually, like a few days before, we were talking, we were trying not to get frustrated in case it didn't come out well. So we talked about it, and I told him, well, it might take a while for us to get a good recipe, a good chocolate out of what we're making here. And then the first one was already like perfect. Like we made this first one and we already enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
But one thing that was very challenging for me at the beginning and made the whole difference was the when we roast and the peeling, cracking, and the winnowing of the beans and the shell. So the first ones I did all manually, like one by one. And I think if we kept doing that, I would have given up because even though it's homemade chocolate, we couldn't do it. So we bought two different machines and we crack in one machine and we separated the beans and the shells in another one that blows and separates both of them.
Wonderful.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, especially with you because this is a part-time business, right? So you don't have all the time to dedicate. So you definitely need sometimes some tools to make it more efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it would make our chocolates less with a fair quality because of it.
Yeah,
So we
exactly.
still homemade. So we take our time to do the roasting, other things. Tô falando pra ele sobre como foi difícil pra gente descascar no começo.
Sim.
But one challenge that I still face now is with the white chocolate. Because here in Brazil, unfortunately, the law allows the industry to have so many different kind of oil, vegetable oils, and any kind of fat in our chocolate here. So by law here, chocolate is whatever has 25% of the cocoa soil. So the rest of the 75% could be whatever we want.
Okay.
So we decided not to have the lecithin. So our chocolate has no lecithin. And when we temper the white chocolate, the butter goes crazy sometimes. So this is one of the challenges I still have. So
Mm.
sometimes we make 20 bars at the same time, and four of them start melting out of no
Um,
reason.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, white chocolate is a bit more, sometimes a bit more challenging. You have to cool it down a lot more. Maybe in Brazil there it doesn't get cold enough, sometimes.
Yeah, we have to work with the AC on, otherwise
Yeah,
we wouldn't be able to do it.
right,
So
right.
I have been doing my best to make the white chocolate.
Wonderful.
So hopefully one day it's all gonna be good.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
sometimes we
definitely a
have to redo it and redo it.
that's definitely a challenge for a lot of chocolate makers like you who are at origin in hot climates. Is chocolate bars were invented in Europe, Northern Europe, where it was cool a lot, right? And now
Mhm.
you're trying to make it in hot climates and it's much more challenging, much more work.
Yeah, especially with only the cocoa butter as the fat. So it makes it more delicate.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
easier to melt. So
Yeah,
we don't have anything that helps the butter to stay there, to keep in there.
good point.
That's the chocolate.
Sim.
So in the past few years, there's been an explosion of bean to bar makers in Brazil. I see a lot of small scale bean to bar makers. Why do you think this is happening? Do you think it's a good thing in Brazil?
I think it's a good thing. If we think about it, it's an opportunity for those who are looking for a better chocolate to buy it. So, I can use my example. The first time I had bean to bar chocolate was in Bahia, so I couldn't find anywhere close to me.
Right.
So I had to buy online to keep having a high quality chocolate, especially because the industry here unfortunately doesn't offer us a good quality, something that we know for sure what we are having. Um, and I think we always talk about it, how what we thought about the bean to bar chocolate comparing with the coffee, for example. About 10 years ago, 10, 20, 2012, about 12
É,
years
10, 12
ago,
anos, né?
I had I took a course for about learning about coffee, and I remember it was told in this course um, how much we Brazil is good for making coffee. I know our coffee is of a high quality and so and so, but the good coffee is not here. So the good coffee
Exportation.
made here in Brazil is outside of Brazil. So it's not sold here. So she was telling us, so what you buy in the supermarket here in Brazil is the rest of the rest. So the good stuff is sold outside.
Right.
And so after this course, the first thing, and I couldn't buy even bean coffee to grind to
Mm,
grind it at home. We
right.
couldn't find it in the supermarket 10 years ago. I
Mm,
had to go to a coffee shop to buy the bean to
hmm.
ground myself
Yeah.
in my house. So after this course, the following month, I bought the grinder. So because I decided I was gonna buy only from the bean and
Mm,
make it and grind my own coffee to make sure I see there is only coffee and there is no parts of the tree, for
mm,
example,
mm, mm.
and they are all whole, not half of it. So because half of the bean means broke or half eaten by bugs. So we
Right.
don't
And the
know.
flavor might not be nice. Yeah.
And the flavor is completely different. So here in Brazil, most of the people have coffee with sugar. But
Right.
now that we have a good coffee, we know we don't need sugar.
Mm, mm,
So my hope for my country, for the people here, is that as we are already start to have more quality coffee in the markets to buy, I hope for people to recognize that the chocolate could be the same. So we
mm.
have the choice to pay a little more for a better quality chocolate as we do for a higher quality coffee.
Right.
So
Right.
I
And
think it's
that's
always going to be good for us and for our health because if it's higher quality, it means better for our body.
right. No, unnecessary ingredients that don't have to be in there. And also, you guys are adding value to local farmers. Like you said, in Bahia, they're growing the cacao and then they're making chocolate, so they can add more value to their efforts. Whereas if they just send it somewhere else, they're not going to get as much value for the work that they do.
Sobre essa questão, eu acho que a percepção que a gente tem é que tanto o aumento dos produtores de bean to bar é algo evidente no Brasil, mas também a demanda e o produto lá na fazenda de qualidade está meio que acompanhando, né? Está havendo uma sinergia entre o produtor que fornece a amêndoa adequada para o bean to bar, a quantidade de produtores de chocolate e uma conscientização coletiva também que aos poucos vai absorvendo essa produção, né? É uma sensação que a gente tem aqui.
Yeah, he's saying that he sees the growing of the bean to bar makers along with the consumers looking for it, and for the farmers making and producing and selecting their beans better as well. So we are all growing kind of together.
Right. That's a good point too, is now that the farmers are seeing more demand, some of them are making more effort to grow that.
To offer fine cocoa.
Right, right.
Antes a gente via alguns polos produtores tradicionais, que era a Bahia, Pará, Rondônia mais recentemente. Só que agora a gente já vê outras regiões, principalmente áreas de Mata Atlântica, mais a sul, como Rio de Janeiro, Espírito Santo e até estado de São Paulo, com o início de uma produção já focando na produção orgânica e de amêndoa fina, né? Então, acho que isso é bem importante.
Yes, he falou bastante. He was saying that traditionally here in Brazil, we have cocoa in Bahia, Pará, and Rondônia, so the three main states that produce cacao here. But now we are already having some producers here down to the south east of the region here. So São Paulo State, Espírito Santo,
Rio de Janeiro,
and Rio de Janeiro, they are already planting some cacao tree, and with focusing already in to have as a final bean and organic as well. So it's not just to sell all together to the industry, but also to trying to sell directly to the chocolate maker.
Right, right. Yeah. And I think with every new chocolate maker in Brazil, it's also more people educating the public. So if someone else somewhere else teaches a customer about bean to bar, and then they come to your town, they already know, they already understand it and more likely to appreciate it.
So. Yeah, here in Brazil, even some of my students, when I tell them, okay, I'm a chocolate maker, and they ask, so what do you mean? How do you make it? And then one of the questions they make is about the white chocolate. So the white chocolate is the one that you don't roast, and the black chocolate because you roasted. Is it the difference? So even here people don't know the basic of the chocolate.
And that's amazing too, even for a country like Brazil, the heartland of cacao. And somehow the gap between the information and the consumer is very, very big. So you have a long road ahead of you, but that's really nice that you're a teacher. So you probably do a very good job educating people.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Do people in Brazil, what's your experience? Do they get excited when you say this is made in Brazil using Brazilian cacao? Or do they still prefer, they say, oh, I prefer Switzerland, Belgium chocolate? What is your experience?
Se os brasileiros preferem chocolate.
Comparando com...
Existe essa cultura ainda de valorizar chocolate suíço.
Yeah, and then we have this culture here in Brazil that they value what is from outside more than what is made here, especially when we're talking about chocolates. So coming from the Switzerland and Belgium, they believe that they're the best. They could be of a good quality, but one of the things I usually ask them not to say anything bad about their favorite chocolates from outside of Brazil, but I usually ask them, so do you know where the cacao they use are from? Are they from Brazil? Are they from Ecuador, from Indonesia, from Africa? Do you know anything about their cacao? Do you know if it's a medium or how it's roasted? So just to make them think a little bit. So
Right.
not because it's made outside, it's the best.
Right.
So the ingredients they use, they don't know anything about it, but just it's made there, it's good. So I try in a nicer way to make them think. Okay, so
Yeah.
what makes their chocolate better than mine?
Right.
Eu acho que é
That's
uma dificuldade maior entre o público leigo, né? Porque o pessoal mais especialista
Yeah,
aí já consegue
we have
identificar.
some people here. They think, oh, the outside ones will always be the best. So they don't want to hear. I'm just trying to sell my fish
why
here.
why do they think that? Is there maybe they had bad experience with Brazilian chocolate?
No, I think
Why do
it's
they
they're
think?
not open to for something from here, but we do have some people that understand that. So
Mm,
some people, when you explain to them about the cacao and how it's made and all the fermentation, the experience from the fermentation from the beans we have, when we show the bean for them, the roasted one, the raw ones, and the beans, and they smell it and they see, so they understand how the process is. So it's not a magical thing. It's not a miracle thing that oh, it needs to be from outside. So it's something very simple. It demands a lot of time, a lot of dedication, but it's not something that oh, it needs to be from outside to be good.
mm, mm, mm.
So some people don't. We do have some clients that are from here, so it's a small country city of the São Paulo state. But we have some clients that are only buy from us. They said, "Oh, I don't eat chocolates from the market anymore, so I see the
Beautiful.
difference. I see the
Yeah.
flavor." So we have some company here. There are some companies already making chocolates, saying the percentage of the cacao in there. So there are some people doing a 70%, 80% cacao bar of chocolate, but with the artificial flavor of cocoa. So
Aromatizantes, né?
why is that? So I have the one that that we make with the least percentage of cocoa is 45 percentage. So even my 45% cocoa smells cocoa, tastes chocolate.
Mm,
So
completely
why
natural.
is that? So they
Yeah.
don't. So just for them to think about it.
Yeah. And I like your approach is very compassionate because sometimes fine foods can be intimidating for customers, right? So it's nice that you don't say, "Oh, the chocolate you like, the Lindt Cadbury is bad chocolate. You have to eat this one." But I like your
No,
approach where you just make them
yeah.
think a little bit, right?
Yeah, we can do that because it's what they have been eat forever. And of course, our chocolates it's a little more expensive than the ones from the market, but it's not that much expensive. So
Mm,
we try to be fair with the
right,
price of our chocolates. But I know some people won't be able to afford to only have our chocolate.
right,
So
right.
I try to explain to them the good parts of having our chocolate, but we respect their position.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's wonderful. I think I always compare chocolate to sometimes coffee and wine, but also to cheese and bread, where you have
Mhm.
local bakeries that you want to support to make a good product. And it would be nice to see, even in small towns like you, people supporting local chocolate maker. And that's where they go for their chocolate. So it'd be really nice to see
Yeah,
that.
and that's one of the things we're doing here to bring more customers. We are making some gifts combs
Mm,
because that's what people like giving here in Brazil, chocolate, like little something to
it's a
eat.
gift. Yeah,
So we do sell some chocolate for gift as
right.
gift.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed, I saw on your Instagram you have some chocolate bars using different sugars, different sweeteners. So what are the different sweeteners that you've used, and why do you make them with a different sweetener? Does it have an effect on the flavor?
It does. Um, we have three different sugars,
Uhum.
sweeteners. We have the maltitol.
Isso, é um poliol, né? Maltitol, xilitol,
Yeah,
eritritol.
yeah. We the first one we made was with the xylitol, but the taste was I didn't like. So the maltitol
Okay.
was a little better. So that's the sweetener we use
Tem
for the
açúcar de
zero
coco.
sugar, because here is when we use this one here with the maltitol, we can call it zero sugar. So
Right.
some people, especially for diabetics ones, the ones that are on diet. And another one that we use is the coconut sugar.
Mm.
It's the so it's also a sugar that some people here in Brazil use to sweet their coffee and some other things. He likes the coconut sugar. I don't like coconut sugar very much.
Why don't
So
you like it?
it was one of his idea, but the chocolate made with the coconut sugar
É
is
tirado da flor da palmeira do coco, né? Não é da fruta.
it comes from this sugar comes from the flower and not from the fruit.
Mm.
It tastes different.
Isso.
But we have some customers that are addicted to it.
Okay.
Tem sabor bem intenso, né?
It's very intense, the flavor of it.
E tem a questão da saúde envolvida, né? Que ele, apesar de ser um açúcar calórico, ele tem um baixo índice glicêmico, né?
Yeah, and he was saying that one of the reasons we decided to use because it's a little healthier, the coconut sugar, than the regular sugar. Another sugar that we use is the raw cane sugar. We call the Mirara sugar here. So it's a little less processed. So that's one of the sugars I usually use in my house for my bakings as well. And the coconut sugar has a lower glycemic index. So which means how do you say? O índice glicêmico é baixo e daí...
É mais baixo, é.
The insulin spike goes slower.
Not as high.
So it's healthier especially for those that are diabetics or...
Right.
So that's one of the reasons we decided to make the one. And we have
E o açúcar comum, né?
And we use the raw cane sugar.
Que apesar de ser o açúcar da cana, ele é bem menos processado, né? Por ser mineral. Já falou, né?
So the raw cane sugar and the coconut sugar, do you use the same type of cacao and just change the sugar, or do you change the cacao as well?
We use the same cacao. We use the same cacao, and the only thing we do, the difference is usually when we make intense chocolate without milk, we don't use the additional butter. But for this one here, we use a little bit of the cocoa butter to make it less hard, so less intense because of the flavor, to kind of balance the taste. So we use about 5% of cocoa butter, extra cocoa butter into it.
No, that's definitely something that gets overlooked a lot is, when you make chocolate, unless you're making 100% bar, you're going to have to add some sugar. And some people take for granted sugar is sugar, but there's so many different kinds of sugars and sweeteners. And not only does it change the flavor of the bar, but consumers are looking for these different sugars, right? And so that's nice that you have that variety there.
Yeah, and here in Brazil, we do have a lot of people looking for zero sugar. Like when they say zero sugar, it doesn't mean no sugar. So they want some kind of sweeteners, but not the regular sugar. So that's why we have these two different options.
How would you guys describe the values of your company, your business? I know you hinted a little bit at different aspects, but what would you say?
Quais seriam os valores da nossa empresa? Saúde.
Acho que saúde em primeiro lugar, né? Qualidade do produto.
Yeah, you were saying a healthy quality.
E perseverar nessa proposta, né? Não entrar na onda da indústria.
Yeah, we try to stick onto it.
Manter um produto artesanal, saudável.
The homemade chocolate, the homemade product. I would say when I make my chocolate, I try to think that I want something that it's pleasure to be eating. So it's not a healthy chocolate. It needs to be healthier than the other ones, but I also want it to be good, to be delicious, to be chocolate. So the pleasure of eating without feeling guilty because, oh, I'm on a diet and I'm having a lot of chocolate, for example.
Mm.
So that's one of the things that I want. I think we have to learn how to eat healthier. And eat healthier doesn't mean only yucky stuff.
Right,
Means
right.
good
Yes.
stuff. Means changing, learning how to eat things that are of a better quality and learning how to make them in a way that pleasures ourselves. So our 70% chocolate is the one that we make with the coconut sugar
Sugar.
will be good for some, but won't be good for others.
Mm,
So for
mm.
him, he loves it. I don't like it very much. So I have other ones that are my favorite.
Right.
So
E ainda nessa linha das propostas da empresa, eu acho importante ressaltar a questão da gente ser plant-based desde o começo, né? Plant-based. Ah, sim.
yeah, though one other thing that we do is all the ingredients we use is plant-based.
Right. And you also mentioned too that you're trying to keep the prices of your bars fair, right? There's many people in the bean to bar world that they create product line that caters to different people in the market, right? And some of them are very expensive bars, luxury, and some of them are bars that are really beautiful quality, but maybe more accessible to more people. So why did you decide to make more of a fair price? Do you want just more people to have access to it?
Yeah, we know we're not going to be rich with this company. So
Right,
our purpose is not to be rich.
right.
What I wanted was to make a chocolate that I was um, that I could eat and be happy with it. So we make a good quality chocolate for ourselves, and it's available to whoever wants to try
Hmm. Hmm.
as well.
Wonderful.
So because I think if it's too expensive, people wouldn't even try,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I don't think the purpose of if I want to help my people here in Brazil to eat
Mm,
healthier,
mm,
they have to change. We have to change the idea of okay, eating healthier, eating well means being rich. No, it means
right.
making decisions.
Mm,
So this is one of the things I tell all my friends. So even here in Brazil, we were talking about coffee. Most of my friends have coffee from the markets, the regular ones. So when they come here to my house, I don't buy this kind of this kind of coffee. So everyone that has coffee in my house will drink this grinder home coffee. And some of my friends say, oh, I need to go but stop by, just I need your coffee. And I love when my friends say that they want to come to have coffee with me at my place because they understand that I offer them for free what I have the best in my
mm,
house.
mm,
So the chocolate, of course, I can't offer to everyone, but it's there to whoever wants to try.
right.
And when we were talking about price, our chocolate is 2 or 3 times more expensive than the one from the market. But there are some beach bar here that are like 4 or 5 times more expensive.
Right,
So
right.
we don't have any chocolate that is it's more expensive than 20 reais.
Mm,
So it's very available. It's affordable for
For
most of the
bars.
people. Of course,
right,
they can't have it every day, but if once a week,
right,
anyone can buy it if they want to.
right, right. And like we were talking about health, right? And health is not about eating food that is bitter, doesn't taste good. You can have both. You can have beautiful ingredients that taste wonderful. So we talked a little bit about health benefits. How can people think of good quality dark chocolate as healthy? What's beneficial to people?
And os benefícios do cacau. Well, the cacao, it's already known as a anti-inflammatory,
Hmm.
antioxidant,
Right.
Os
and
flavonoides, né?
yeah,
Nutrientes importantes.
and it also protects you from the cardiovascular system. So
Hmm.
some of the doctors, at least here in Brazil, they recommend to eat chocolates, a little piece
Right.
of a high quality and percentage of cocoa, of
Right.
cacao. So even doctors recommend us here to eat
Quantidades
some,
pequenas.
yeah, little piece
Yeah.
of chocolate.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. There's a lot of research that does suggest, moderate amounts of chocolate, maybe 7 grams, maybe 10 grams a day, definitely associated with health benefits,
And
inflammation,
even for
cardiovascular.
athletics, so we have a customer in Rio de Janeiro. He buys from us, and he's a swimmer.
Oh, okay.
He swims in the ocean for many hours,
Wow.
and maybe his doctor, his nutrition told him to have some chocolate.
Eu acho que aí são duas frentes, né? Ao mesmo tempo que o bean to bar ele vai utilizar poucos ingredientes, ele vai ter uma percentagem maior do cacau bom, né? De qualidade. E aí traz consigo as qualidades, as propriedades desse cacau.
Yeah, so he's saying that the good thing about the bean to bar is that we try to increase the good ingredients, which is the high quality cocoa, for example,
Right.
and we reduce what is not good about the chocolate.
Right. And in moderation, it's like many foods. In moderation, it's not something to feel bad about or guilty. You can enjoy moderate amounts of beautiful chocolate.
Yes.
What are some hopes you have for the future? I know this is more of a part-time business, but do you have any plans or ideas that you wanted to share?
Crescer devagar, né?
Yeah, he
Do
said he
tamanho das
wants to
pernas.
grow organically, like the way we can. We don't want to be crazy. We don't want to, but we want to grow little by little as we can. Would be a dream come true if I could only live from, like, make my life out of the Tavua.
Yeah,
But like I said, we are not planning to be rich, so we will
right.
probably have to have
Yeah.
both jobs.
Yeah. Be realistic. What happens, happens. See how it goes. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yes, we are realistic. We know it's not easy. We're not gonna dream too high. I was just gonna say what I wanted people to do is to have more information, because I think one of the things that would make people buy from us, for example, if they had more information about at least had the what people here don't do is they don't read the label, so they don't know what's
Yeah.
they're consuming, so they don't know what is in there.
Yeah.
We already hired a company to do the nutrition label for the nutrition table for us. So in a few weeks we're gonna have that on our chocolate. Because just way it's gonna help them to see all the ingredients, all the nutritions that they can get from the chocolate, from a good chocolate.
Right. Right. And I think you have a special position too, because like you said, you're a teacher. And I think nowadays it's nice to see if you can teach kids about chocolate making and quality chocolate, get them to taste it when they're young so that they want it when they get older as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did that to my daughter. So she's 12 and she loves making things at home.
Yeah.
So she already bakes cake and makes bread,
Wonderful.
because she has done that with me ever since she could hold a knife, for example. So she
Future.
values what the homemade stuff.
Right. Right. A future
Yes.
employee for Tavua.
Yeah, hopefully.
And what is your current lineup of products? Did you want to show us a little bit about the chocolate bars you sell today?
Yeah, sure. So we have our milk chocolate. So we have two kind of milk chocolate. We have the white one. The white one is made of 35% of cocoa butter. And we have the 45% cocoa with a coconut milk. Like I said, it's all plant-based.
Right.
We have a bigger bar and a smaller one.
Okay.
We make the package. So it's
Did
a
you?
craft we buy and we cut. We do
Okay.
it all. Even the stamp, we do it.
Okay.
The label, everything.
Wow.
It's a
Amazing.
hard work. We have the intense chocolate with rock and sugar. We have the 55% and the 70%. So there are only three ingredients. The coconut, no coconut. So it's the beans, the cocoa beans, the butter, and the sugar.
Right.
And we have three different 70% cocoa, which we showed before.
Mm.
So the intense with the regular rock and sugar, with the maltitol, and the coconut sugar. So
Okay.
this is the three
Todos
kinds we have.
3 ingredients.
Yeah, they're all only three ingredients.
I see.
And we make some flavored ones. This is made with coffee.
Oh, okay.
So
Wonderful.
we add some coffee to the
Liofilizado.
bar. And I don't know if you have heard of cupuaçu.
Yes, yes.
Have you? Okay, so because here in Brazil, there are some chocolate makers making cupulate. So
Right.
it's,
So using the seed of the cupuaçu.
yeah.
Right.
So we haven't tried yet. So what we did was we added some of the cupuaçu beans into
Ah,
our bar,
okay.
and it tasted wonderful. We
Yeah.
bought already some cupulate made um, from other makers,
Mhm.
and we enjoyed the taste. So we might start
Yeah.
playing with that too.
Yeah. Somebody else, another chocolate maker in Brazil, Cacao, I think it was, she was trying to use the beans, but the machine broke because the beans are very hard, I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So be careful with your equipment when you try it.
Yeah. Well, we do have some of the beans here, and
Yeah.
ele falou que
Ok.
alguém usou o nibs do cupuaçu e quebrou a
A
máquina,
máquina?
porque ele era muito duro.
Não duvido.
I said, I don't doubt him.
Ele é bem diferente, né? Ele é mais. Talvez precisa passar por uma pré-moagem antes de ir para a máquina, né? Uma trituração prévia.
Yeah, he said maybe it needs to go to another machine and to pre-grind before we put in the stone grinder.
Yeah, but that's exciting too. And what's wonderful too about chocolate makers now, in all different countries in the world, you're including local ingredients that other countries don't even know about. So you create new products, new bars with new ingredients that other people can try. Otherwise, they would have never tried it. So it's really interesting to see how each region, each country, whatever, will create chocolate in their own unique way, unique ingredients. So it's really exciting to see. And where do you currently sell your products? Do you sell locally? Do you sell online?
We have a store here in the city that sells some of our chocolate.
Wonderful.
And there's another city that is about 30 minutes from here. It's a coffee shop actually, and they sell some of our chocolate there. And we sell online through Instagram.
Okay.
So whenever people want, they just send us a message, and we can send it through the mail.
Okay. And is that the best way for people to stay in touch with you is through Instagram?
Yes.
Venda pequena ainda, né?
Melhor jeito é Instagram, né? Yes, through Instagram is the way we usually
Wonderful.
E
get
localmente,
reached. And locally,
o iFood tem sido
yeah, there is an
interessante.
app here that is local. We can have like a store online,
Oh, okay.
and so people can find Tavua there, and we deliver it.
Excellent.
Porque
Wonderful.
pessoas que não estão no Instagram acabam conhecendo a marca através.
Yeah, because locally there are some people that don't know us through
Right.
Instagram, but they use when they use this app, so they're gonna say, "Oh, Tavua, what is Tavua?" So they check our store online, and then
okay.
they order.
Good,
So
good.
this is another way that we are selling our chocolates. So we started about a year ago. So we are kind of new onto it, but we are enjoying a lot. Like I can see in my life.
Yeah, I can see
Doing
you
that
guys
for
are
the rest
enjoying it.
of my life.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph.
I appreciate the time. I like to see the passion. I hope things continue to work out for you, and I hope your company grows. But I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate your time.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Erica. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
You too.
Ciao. Download the free Bean to Bar app to connect with incredible chocolate makers from around the world. Also be sure to visit beantobarworld.com, your portal for all things fine chocolate, virtual tastings, free learning resources, research, and much more. Subscribe to the newsletter to stay in touch, and donate to the free app and free resources here. Contact me for any chocolate-related questions you may have.